Okay, so what is a star? Or is star a feeling? But welcome to my blonde movie review. I wanted to film this after I watched the movie, but I was way too emotional because it felt so good and it felt so real that I had to wait 20 hours for myself to film this. But I had a conversation with my mom, who also watched the movie in the movie theaters, that it seems that it has gotten a lot of bad press and bad reviews. And it's interesting. And I started to think, I think those reviews are from like A, men, and B, like 30 to 40-year-old women that obviously weren't alive when Marilyn was alive. So I think it's nice for me to give a review too, because mine's a perspective from a 20-year-old, which is going to be different than a 50-year-old, a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 10-year-old. So your voice is important. But let's start. I really loved how it focused a lot, the whole movie. Ana de Armas, she was playing Marilyn Monroe as an emo girl. Let me put on some lipstick because I think Marilyn would want this too. She was playing Marilyn as a full-time emo girl, which honestly would be like really hard to do, like to be that emotionally high-strung the whole entire time. Red lipstick, and the most iconic red lipstick, Ruby Woo, for Marilyn. There's only certain women that get like remembered and idolized with makeup and makeup styles, like Amy Winehouse, and you kind of have to die first to get a makeup style remembered for you. Like, who did I just say? Amy Winehouse, her eyeliner, Marilyn red lips. What's another? Cleopatra, her eyeliner. Elizabeth, what's her name? I always forget her last name. She played Cleopatra. But I wanted to do some research after I watched the movie. I.e., looking up the Wikipedia page. And I found out that Ana was actually Cuban and Mexican. And that made sense because I feel like I kind of knew with the name Ana, you're going to be Mexican, but in some scenes, you can totally tell that she's Cuban or that she's Mexican. And I love that because I'm Mexican too. And she was playing an American woman, which is very American to not be American, playing a famous American. Like, does it get any more American dream than that? Oh my god, America's like such a big word to say, but in some scenes and how she like reacted, you could totally tell that she was Mexican, and I love that. And there was some scenes and how it was shot, the lighting, how it was edited, where it was you couldn't tell me I was not watching Marilyn on screen. I was waiting to see Marilyn on the new silver screen, and in some scenes that we can actually see Marilyn. And I like the first time I saw it, I like gasped. I was like, oh, that's Marilyn. And I like to believe that film is a medium to capture energy. And what are you? Energy. Because once you're dead, there's nothing in the body anymore. Where does, like, what? Why isn't the body turning on anymore? It's as if the electricity is gone. And I saw in an interview that Anna felt Marilyn's spirit and energy around the set. And knowing that just made it more impactful to know that we were watching Marilyn on screen, and Marilyn had a set of eyes over the movie that was made about her. This movie, the word being used at the moment is dehumanizing. I think the word is just humanizing. We got to see a mannequin, which is Marilyn Monroe, be human. Like throw up, have sex, cry, dream. We never got to know that about Marilyn. We just thought she was smiling, pretty, skinny, blonde hair, like she was born like that. But we got to see her being humanized. And in an era like the 1950s, 40s, 60s, some ideals and patriarchic systems were very intact, in the sense that if you were a woman trying to get a high job or even in the movie industry, it was 100% known that you would have to have sex to get there. And for it to be showed on screen is like so impactful and so beautiful. Okay, I don't know if the word is beautiful, but I think the word is strong, and it puts more light into the story of our beloved Marilyn Monroe. And I loved how it talked about through her abortions and how it played a big pact into life, because after every abortion, after your first abortion, it's a decision you can't go back from, right? So after each abortion, it sends her into a certain, it sends you on a different path. And a path where it's like super self-centered. Where it's like, I have to go right because I close off left. Like she closed off motherhood. And it kind of made me think, I was like, she never got to experience motherhood. That's why in her last film where she got to actually play a mother to those two kids, I forget the movie, I think it was said that she actually felt like the mother to them because she could never be a mother, but she could play a mother, which is like so sad. We didn't let her have a kid. Okay, back to our emo girl Marilyn. I loved how Anna portrayed Norma Jean as an emo girl, because this movie had so many tropes. It had the independent female trope, movie star in the 1940s, 50s trope, blonde hair trope, pinup doll trope. A trope is a aesthetic and story, a storyline. But the most important storyline, and this is the storyline that relates Marilyn to the world, is the feeling of being an orphan, the feeling of being left behind, the feeling of never being loved fully. Like I said in the promo, she was watched by all but seen by none. Her emotional undertone to her whole entire life, what was portrayed through this film, was orphan. And that's not something you can heal. You can go to therapy all you want, but that's an energy that you're gonna have for your whole entire life. And that's what made her so appealing on screen, because she was a lost kid. She had no daddy and her mommy was sick. So every time we saw her on screen, we wanted to save her and help her. And I think she's Cancer rising, so that makes sense. It was nice to see a dreamy side of Marilyn and the sexual side of Marilyn. I really liked seeing that because it was real, and it showed her throughout the ages. And the ending. Oh my god. Wait, I'm skipping the whole, like, there was so much sex in this movie. When you do sex in a high art movie, you can either go tacky or you can do it high arts where it's like edited and shot well. They showed Marilyn blowing the president. Who has balls to do that? Funny to be on the topic of balls, but no one has the balls to what's the word? I guess the word is dehumanize the president. Because I think in like some parts of the world, like you get prison time for that. Like to say any malice or bad or real facts about the people in charge. Okay, bye. Bye from me and Marilyn.